Welcome back everyone to another video, and today I'm going to try and predict the top 10 picks of the NFL draft, which is tomorrow, at least at the time of recording this it is. Now if you guys missed my mock draft, my full round 1 mock draft, go check that out. I can link that in the description. That was with no trades though for the first one, and I was going to try and get around to doing an entire first round again but with trades, and honestly it just never really happened. So that one's not the most realistic because obviously trades will happen. This one I am going to be doing trades though, so this will be definitely factoring that in there. It should be an exciting draft. I know a lot of people are very excited for it. It's a very deep draft class, a lot of different positions here. So then first for the Bears, I have Caleb Williams here. I think most people do. I think even for people that think Williams is not the best quarterback in the draft, I think they would even agree that the Bears are going to take him. Even if Williams may not be the best quarterback in their opinion, I think it's pretty accepted and expected now that the Bears are going to be taking Caleb Williams out of USC as their quarterback of the future. I think it's a great move. I think they've done a great job at surrounding him with guys he needs to succeed, like getting DJ Moore last season. Now you bring in Keenan Allen. You still have Cole Kmet. I think you also bring in Gerald Everett, I believe, as well, and now DeAndre Swift. So you're really giving him a lot of the tools to succeed that Justin Fields, quite honestly, didn't have when he got drafted. So I think the Bears have done a lot better at putting the rookie quarterback in a better spot this time around. And I have Caleb Williams going number 1. And then number 2, I have Washington taking Drake May. Again, in my opinion, the draft really starts right here. I think number 1's pretty locked in on Caleb Williams. But after that, I think it's really up in the air. Teams trying to trade up, guys falling. In my opinion, I think Drake May goes second. I think Daniels has obviously been very hyped up, especially as of late. And he's a great player. I'm not trying to say he's not a great player by any means, but I do think Drake May, when it comes down to it, is just a better quarterback. I think he's a better passer. I think he's the more polished prospect, but again, that was said last year about Bryce Young, and that was not the case. CJ Stroud was much better for year 1. And again, there's things working different in those situations as far as like the team around them, but still, sometimes those things just aren't always accurate. But in my opinion, I do think Drake May it will be the better day 1 starter. I do think Washington takes him right here. And it sounds like they're not trading out of the number 2 spot as well. So I have them taking Drake May out of North Carolina. And then number 3 is the Patriots. Now, again, this one is really interesting because the Patriots are actually open to trading out of this pick. As of right now, they still have the 3rd overall pick. I really hope I don't post this and they trade out of it. That would be a little annoying, but I do have them taking Jaden Daniels, who will be the best player on the board at that point. They need a quarterback. I don't really understand trading down for them, to be honest, unless you get like just a deal you really can't refuse. You need a quarterback, just take him. He's going to be there. I mean, it's going to be either him or Drake May at 3. I would not trade down. Just take either one of them. I think you need a young quarterback. Because Mac Jones is obviously not the answer. And even if you go and get great receivers, you don't have anyone to get them the ball. I think it's really a new era in New England. You got a new head coach. Let them get their guy. Don't trade out of that. Just pick the best quarterback on the board, or whoever you really want there. Unless you're really set on May and he goes second, or vice versa with Daniels. I'm not really sure why you would trade out of this pick, but I do have the Patriots taking Jaden Daniels, number 3, out of LSU. And then number 4 is going to be the Cardinals. Now, I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr. here out of Ohio State. I really don't see this going any other way. I'm going to be honest. If they trade out of here, I'm not going to understand it unless someone takes Harrison higher than this. I mean, you need a good receiver. Marquise Brown is now gone. You've lost Hopkins. Kyler needs an amazing number 1 option, and I'm not sure what better prospect you could get than Marvin Harrison Jr. I think if he's there, which I think he should be, just take him. I have the Cardinals getting Marvin Harrison Jr. Obviously, he's one of the best wide receiver prospects in a very long time, especially the last few years. But again, this is a loaded wide receiver class. So there's a lot of really good value guys at receiver that's going to be taken a bit further in the draft that are also very good. But I do think Harrison comes off the board first for wide receiver, and it comes off number 4 to the Cardinals. And then number 5 is the Chargers. And again, if I were to make this video a few months ago, I would have had them doing something much different. But considering they've now lost Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Austin Eckler and a bunch of their offensive guys, I had them taking Malik Nabers here out of LSU. He's an amazing receiver, and honestly, if Marvin Harrison Jr. was not in this draft class, he's probably wide receiver 1. I know some people even rank him higher. I wouldn't put him higher than Marvin Harrison Jr., but I do think the gap is not as large as people might not think it is. As people might think it is, I guess. I think I said that wrong, but you get the point. I do have Nabers, though, going to the Chargers at number 5. Herbert needs a new number 1. I don't think Quentin Johnston will become a number 1 caliber wide receiver in the NFL. I think he will hopefully improve from last year. There's not really much else to go than up. I would hope that's rock bottom, but I don't think he's going to ever be a wide receiver 1. I think it could be a fine wide receiver 2 or 3 on a team, but Herbert needs a guy, and I think Malik Nabers can be that guy for him. And so then with the trade, so number 6, I have the Giants actually moving out of this spot and the Vikings moving up to get JJ McCarthy. And I'm going to be completely honest here. I am not really sure how I see McCarthy as a prospect yet. I've gone back and forth. I think one thing that's great is his ability to fit the ball into really tight windows. That's very, very needed at the next level because, again, NFL open is not college open, so being able to hit those tight window throws is very important. But again, I go back and forth from his college tape, and I'm not sure if everything's going to translate very well for him. However, the one thing I will say is he's going to be in a very good spot if he goes to the Vikings, because you have Jefferson, you have Hawkinson, you have Jordan Addison, you have pretty solid offensive line with Christian Darrisaw kind of leading the names there. I mean, you have a pretty good offense. I think it also would benefit his skill set anyway. But I don't know. I go back and forth, like I said, but I do think the Vikings, they move up, they get their guy. I know it's been speculated a lot that the Vikings are trying to get Drake May at 2 or 3, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that, to be honest. I think they go for the kind of their next, their plan B, per se, and I think they go number 6 and they get McCarthy. And then for the Titans, I had them taking Joe Alt. Again, I think he is probably the best tackle prospect. I think he's going to go off the board first as well, although I know there are a few guys that are kind of seen as possibly being taken higher than what might be expected. I think Joe Alt is going to be the answer there for the Titans. I think they need an offensive lineman very badly, obviously. And I think it's only a matter of time before he actually comes off the board. And again, the stats speak for themselves on the side of the screen there. I think he's incredible. He has good footwork. He's pretty athletic as well. And I think it's going to translate well to the NFL. And I believe the NFL prospect grade on him is also I think an 87 or something, basically equating to him being a quality starter within the next few years. Personally, I agree. I think it's a good pick for them. And I'd honestly be pretty surprised if they do anything else here. And then at number 8 for the Falcons, I actually have them getting Laiatu Latu from UCLA. In my mock draft, I had him way down there. I'm not going to lie. I had him pretty far back. But I realized, not only has he got a lot of hype over the last 2 weeks, but I think he's just really one of the best edge rushers in this draft, especially because of his athleticism. I think he's an amazing athlete. I mean, I wanted to highlight down there where it has his total tackles. 21 and a half of those were tackles for loss, which is unbelievable. He also had 2 forced fumbles and 2 interceptions as well as an edge defender. So this guy's incredible. I think the Falcons will be getting an absolute stud for edge. And they do need a good edge rusher, so I do think Latu is the pick here for the Falcons at number 8. And then next, the Bears pick at number 9. I don't think they trade out of here, to be honest. I think they go receiver. Keenan Allen is not, the youngest wide receiver in the world. I think he still has quality years left for sure. But, why not go get someone else? You just let go of Darnell Mooney, who went to the Falcons. You might as well get a new young guy. And I think they go with Rome Odunze from Washington. He's an amazing wide receiver. And I think getting him at number 9 here is honestly the ideal spot for, him to go first off. But especially the Bears to get very good value at wide receiver. In my opinion, I think the Bears could either really go wide receiver here, maybe secondary, but in my opinion, there's no one worth taking that high up here. Again, maybe edge rusher. I know people love Dallas Turner, Byron Murphy II, but in my opinion, I think it's got to be wide receiver, and I think Rome Odunze is the pick here. Unless for some reason Malik Nabers falls and maybe Odunze is picked much higher, which, that happens sometimes. It's possible, but I think Rome Odunze is the pick here for the Bears to have him pair with Caleb Williams and help kind of develop them together, as well as sitting under DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. It's kind of the ideal opportunity for a young wide receiver. And then finally at number 10, I actually have the Jets getting Brock Bowers, the tight end out of Georgia here. In my mock draft I did a few weeks ago, I had them getting Troy Fautanu for tackle. Since then, they did actually sign Tyron Smith in free agency for tackle, and I'm not saying that addresses all of their offensive line needs by any means. They could very well still get him or any other tackle on the board at this point. But I do think Brock Bowers gives Aaron Rodgers a very unique weapon, and whatever quarterback's coming after Rodgers obviously will have him as a weapon as well. You can kind of line up Bowers pretty much anywhere. He's a very, very good athlete. He's good after the catch. I think it's probably the pick here. In my mock draft, I had Bowers actually falling a bit to the Colts and them taking him as a potential weapon for Anthony Richardson. But I do think Cincinnati can go a bit higher, and I think the Jets just go ahead and take him if he's on the board here, which, in my opinion, I think he should be. And that is going to be my top 10, at least for this video. If you guys want to see my full mock draft, go check that out. But again, I did update a few of the picks here that I felt were probably a bit more realistic. Comment down below anything you disagree with or agree with, who you want your favorite team to pick in this year's draft. I know a lot of people are very excited, especially some of those teams up at the top like usual, or teams how they're hoping are going to trade up for someone like the Vikings or even the Raiders or a team like that. So thank you guys for watching. I do really appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I do live NFL content, especially ranking teams, players, free agency, drafts content, all that kind of stuff. And I also do Madden videos as well. So it's always football content on the channel, whether it's video game format or NFL format. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.